Well, I guess this is the lower mid card podcast, brother.
You can't start it like that, dude. You have to build it up with some sort of like welcome to the lower mid card podcast.
You want that? Oh,
yeah.
I got you. Okay. All right. Count me down.
3, 2, 1.
Action. What is up, everybody? This is the lower mid card podcast, episode 1. I'm Kyle Driver.
And I am Grind. And we're here to talk about wrestling.
Professional wrestling. RASSLIN, that's wrestling.
And we have somebody who's working behind the scenes, but he's in the video right now, down below here. His name's Bobby. He's here to help us.
What's up, guys?
Robert.
How's everybody doing?
There you go. This is the most chaotic intro to any podcast you've probably ever heard. But hey, this is our first time, man. This is our first time doing it. And you know what's crazy about it all is that me and Kyle have been going back and forth for, God, I'd say probably at least 2 months.
It's been a long time. Yeah. Even though 2 months isn't very long. But anyway, yeah, it's been a minute.
But we've been talking wrestling. We've been talking some wrestling for a while and just never been able to kind of connect the dots, man. And now we're here. We've
the fuse has been lit.
And we put some time in behind the scenes, which is kind of crazy. I think a lot of you listeners, or if you're watching, are going to be surprised on how this goes down, because this is different. This is cool.
Yeah. I love it.
It's a free space. It's a new beginning. You know,
it's like anarchy and love at the same time.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah. Let's do it.
So, and just to kind of put a timetable where we're at. The timing for this podcast is
so much
going on. It doesn't really allow us a ton of time to just kind of bullshit, which we're hoping, that we were going to get that time. But I mean, I'll be 1,000% honest. We have a list of current events that just kept getting longer every day that we, kept finding information. And then on top of that, we have 2 massive wrestling events between WWE Night of Champions and AEW Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to talk about. And I think with that being said, man, we're just going to kind of dive right into it.
Yeah, let's just get into it.
Current events.
You're up, Bobby.
Current events. So the first main story here is Randy Orton's doctor advised against WWE return amid injury. His father, Bob Orton, was talking to Bill Apter, who is a notable wrestling interviewer, and this is what he had to say.
All waiting for your son Randy Orton to come back. Riddle is alone at the moment in WWE. What can you tell our viewers about the condition of your son? When did you last talk to him?
Well,
what's going on with Randy Orton?
He's training, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if he feels like going back, or if it feels like he's ready to go back. I think he might, but then again, he's pretty well taken care of. I don't think he needs to, and I think the doctors have told him not to.
Me personally, I don't think he's done. And like, the storylines are too great. Like, I think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens need to really just kind of complete that whole picture, because I know that Matt Riddle kind of gets in there too and mixes it up with them, and they kind of have that little, hodgepodge stable. And I think if he does come back, which me personally, I do think that, we will see Randy Orton. It's definitely going to be thrown right back into the bloodline.
Am I the only one that went when I saw Bob Orton went, holy shit, he's getting old?
Oh, dude, he definitely got old.
That was my first take. It was hard for me to hear what he was saying, because I was like, that's Bob? I was like, dude, man. I mean, out here we are getting old, but I mean, dude, that's kind of shook me up a little bit. Time, man. Time's a bitch.
Time and just harsh, harsh stuff done to your body over decades.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. With Randy, man, I hear what you're saying 100%. it's weird because he left on such a high note, right? And from what I've heard is that I believe at WrestleMania he was backstage, he was there. There was a lot of rumors that he was around, and I mean, to leave on such a high note, where he was really just over it.
Yeah.
It seems like, you know, if Vince still plays a part, if that guy can get okayed, you know, if he can pass a physical,
Yeah.
I'd be, you know, I would not be shocked if he returns. The question is when, and you know, obviously there's how much of a need is there for him right this moment, because there's a lot of guys and there's not a lot of room, and if he does come back, he's going to probably come back as part-time, I would assume, because the amount of time he's taken off. So there's a lot to really consider there, but I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it was as late as Royal Rumble, you know, just come back for, you know,
obviously you want him to take his time, right? Like we want him to take his time. I mean, like we've seen Edge come back, you know, we've seen Daniel Bryan come back, aka Bryan Danielson. Like they both have had like debilitating injuries where they sat out for significant time, but they came back, right?
Yeah.
Edge is definitely a different story.
That's a crazy one, bro. That's an insane one.
I mean, but Bryan Danielson, like coming back and him wrestling still has been, I mean, like if they can do it, I don't see why Randy couldn't either, right? And then like, yeah, we do have a large pool, but how many of those could actually be like contenders in something that's actually a compelling storyline to go up against Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
Especially after the draft, which
exactly.
Yeah, so
what a joke. I mean,
which they've already they're not even adhering to it now. Like what, 2 weeks? And we already got people jumping.
All the rules went out the window.
We do got another little headline here. Bray Wyatt is reportedly not listed in any way on WWE's internal rosters. I know, Grind, I know you're like a huge
So I immediately when I mean it just tugged on some heartstrings, right? When I heard that, man, I was, you know, this whole last storyline with Uncle Howdy and whatnot has been drawn out like crazy, and I've been, you know, sitting on my hands like hoping the best for it, and it never really came to fruition. I mean, he had one match with LA Knight, and I mean he buried LA Knight, really. Which
Yeah, I saw that. Sorry.
And it was pretty gimmicky, but it was interesting. And so when we found out that, you know, there was something medical going on, there was an illness that he was dealing with. You know, I tried to follow up as much as possible on it. Basically, from what I've heard, a few different things. I heard one, it was like he broke his finger, and then there was like an infection, and it wasn't as major as people made it sound like it was. But this is all rumored, right? I heard at WrestleMania he was there behind the scenes. So he's around. There was a picture posted on social media of him at a wedding. He's spry, healthy, and happy, which was cool to see. But then this article came out, and I went, oh fuck, here we go. Because, you know, when Vince was there, I guess he wasn't really a big fan of the whole Fiend gimmick after, you know, a few matches, and he was like, let's get him out of here. And so I was worried that that's kind of what we had come to again. But from my understanding in the articles I've read, there's another follow-up article that came out later that day, and basically what that states is anybody who's on an injured list, who they don't have creative plans for, isn't on any internal roster. So it's not that big of a deal. I guess Alexa Bliss isn't on that internal roster as well. And his brother isn't on that list either. Another little keynote is, prior to this, about a week prior, WWE had given him a new creative writer just for him. What's cool, I guess, is that we kind of know the WWE's plans by sidelining Alexa Bliss. You know, I guess she had an injury, but she's been cleared, ready to go. You know, they are sidelining her to work with Bray. And to me, as somebody who was a fan of The Fiend and enjoyed that storyline, I really wanted to see where that went. So This wasn't terrible news. It was actually pretty interesting news because it kind of gave us a little piece of the puzzle, hopefully moving forward.
I have thoughts. I have thoughts. So he was supposed to have a match at WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar, right?
Bobby Lashley.
Bray and Brock were supposed to have a match at WrestleMania.
Is that true? Oh, I didn't know that.
That's 100% true. And actually, Brock Lesnar didn't want a match with him because of the supernatural gimmick.
Yeah.
He was 100% against it. And then like they were like, I don't know what to do. So I think, me personally, I don't think anything's wrong with him. I just think they don't know what to do with him creatively because they were going to put him up against Brock, and Brock was like, nah, I'm good. And it basically just buried him. And that's why I don't like Brock. That just complete segue. This is why I don't like Brock, is because like Bray Wyatt was such a compelling character, and because he was too spooked by, the heebie-jeebies and the supernatural shit, and he didn't want to wrestle him. And I'm just like, well, okay, we got Brock against Bobby Lashley for the 20 billionth time.
I'm not gonna beat up on Grind at all, but yeah, that's the same thing, the same way I feel. That's why I don't like him either. So
yeah, I'm just like, because Bray, like, he came back with, like, we all waited, like, obviously, like, he had stuff going on, and we were all excited to see him come back, and he had the match with LA Knight, buried him, like it was building up, and then all of a sudden just nothing. And it's because of Brock, and I can't get behind that.
And this is a whole nother topic for another day. I promise you, if you're watching this or you're listening to this, I promise you, me and Kyle and Bobby are going to get into this Brock topic, because here's the thing. I am the biggest Brock Lesnar fan, and you both absolutely despise him. There will be a day when we talk about Brock, and it's going to go in depth for a while.
I'm sick to my stomach just like hearing the name right now.
Yeah, so, I'm gonna be sick that day, bud. Anything that I'd rather do anything than talk about Brock. I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, in that case, there is an interesting headline also. MJF wrestles his first independent match since signing with AEW in 2019.
Not just that, but from what I've read, is he has he's defended his title. For everybody who's on Roman's case, he's defended his title less this year than Roman.
When it comes to AEW, there's a lot of bureaucracy. Just because you have AEW, which is like the main show, obviously, but there's a lot of federation, like there's a lot of like federated stuff. Like you have ROH people coming over to AEW, vice versa. You have New Japan, you have Impact people coming on in. So it's just like you have this giant group of pool of wrestlers from different promotions all kind of working together, which, I mean, like it has its ups, it has its downs. Just because you have such a large pool, it's hard to get everyone on TV. But on top of that, it's just like, because there's an ROH show, there's two ROH shows, there's a New Japan show, there's gonna be, we'll get into it, but there's gonna be 3 AEW shows. So I mean, there's definitely room for for all these people to get airtime. Like, it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. But as far as MJF, I don't know what it is, but as to why he hasn't been forced to like defend the title or be in the ring doing whatever. I mean, him carrying on the storylines, it's a compelling storyline. It's always fun watching him work, because he's a perfect heel. He really is.
God, yeah. No, everything I've ever seen of him, man, I want to buy his pickles, but they're expensive. I don't know if you've seen that. He got a pickle deal.
I'm out.
Fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
I don't like pickle juice. I don't like pickles.
Oh my God, how dare you? What
Sorry,
about,
man?
What do you like, cucumbers?
I can't really have them.
Oh,
I'm allergic. I'm allergic to cucumbers, watermelons. This is completely unrelated.
Okay.
Yeah, it's completely unrelated. I'm related. I'm allergic to those types of fruits.
Got
like
it.
Cucumber, watermelon, honeydew, all those. I can't have them.
All right. Well,
I think we're going off the rails here.
Yeah. Dude,
what is MJF's favorite sandwich combination?
Pickles. When I think MJF, I think of his pickles, dude.
Liv Morgan is actually injured on SmackDown. Sorry, I can't get my words out. And they said that there is going to be a women's tag team championship fatal four way for the titles. So I'm not sure if they vacated them or
Yeah,
what's
they did.
happening, but they did. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's going to be interesting on what happened because they just won the titles, so it's going to be
They did.
different. It's going to be very different.
Yeah, so it's what's crazy too is that this is the biggest takeaway I had from it was that if you look at it from the article and from everything stated, the biggest bummer is her teammate
Raquel
Raquel
Rodriguez.
Raquel.
Yeah.
She's been over lately, like hardcore over, and
she's great.
It's a big bummer because I don't think in the I think it's a four-way fatal four-way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to be involved in it. And
She is.
She is.
Oh, is
She's
she?
got
She
a
has a
yeah.
replacement partner?
She's gonna have a replacement partner. We don't know who it is. Didn't she
Got it.
have a tag match like last week?
Yeah, but
Who
I
was her tag
honestly
partner?
I don't remember. Wait, wasn't it I think it was Zelina Vega, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. That would make sense.
Because
I'd be
I
down
remember
with that, to
Zelina
be
coming
honest.
out, but I was just thinking before the show, before we started recording, I was thinking it would be awesome for Zelina to actually get a shot.
Yeah.
She's been so over lately that I think
Yeah.
it'd be perfect for her.
With the LWO and then Raquel Rodriguez.
And prior to LWO, man, she's been all over the map and really hasn't had like
a
a
direction.
consistent direction. So this would be great for her, and she's over. The worst takeaway from this was, how are you not going to have this at Night of Champions? Like, I understand that they're already booked and whatnot, but with such a big, I mean, it's the only women's tag team titles.
Well, look at where it's at. But I mean, the match itself is going to be great.
Yeah.
I mean, Ronda Rousey, Shayna
God.
Baszler.
Blech. Yeah.
I mean, Damage Control, Bailey, Io Sky. I mean, that's a good tag team there. I don't know. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. I mean, it's a nice little tag, but I mean, I'm hoping that Rodriguez and Zelina Vega they get to tag and they at least they get to carry on the strap at least.
Yeah,
I think that would be great.
It would only be right too. It would only. I mean, it's kind of fucked that, like, because one person gets injured, it gets all taken away.
The other person gets fucked over.
Yeah.
We have one more headline here. They did release some of the spoilers for next week's SmackDown.
Yeah. So so basically it was taped, right? It was a taped episode.
Yeah. It was taped.
Yeah.
And so it was just weird because, some of the stuff that happened, like, they kind of spoiled some things for people.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, that's why I don't like tape shows. I never have, for that specific reason.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know everything's predetermined, but
Right.
it's still, the illusion is gone when
It throws
things
it
like
off.
that happen.
I get it. I'm right there with you. Like, I would much rather watch it. Like, obviously we know it's predetermined, but I would rather watch it and still be surprised and be able to, like, live react to whatever the decision is. And
Exactly.
now I gotta watch SmackDown and just be like, well, I already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well,
the worst part is they're doing it specifically to
Yeah.
save money and time. And
right.
And the reason is because where's the pay-per-view next weekend? It's not in the States. It's not something easily to, record on Friday and then obviously film in Saudi the next day.
Yeah, the timing's off, so I get it.
And we live in this world where, you do anything, there's no way for them to hide this anymore. And
No.
unfortunately, yes, it's taped. Luckily it's not the big premium live event that's taped.
Right.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna be waking up at like 8 a.m. my time to watch this thing in Saudi.
Yeah.
And I'm totally fine with that. I'd rather it be that
Right.
way than it be taped, because if it was
Sure.
taped, there's just no way around it anymore. You could, in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, you could get away with it. You can't get away with it anymore. So, it's a bummer. On top of that, You know, I got to see all of the SmackDown results, which was a bummer.
Yeah.
But this one in general blew my mind because from my understanding, there's a written wrestling rule, like in wrestling. You don't touch the titles the night before you go to wrestle for the titles.
Yeah.
It's bad luck. And so even though it's filmed a week in advance, it's going to be shown the night before. And the picture that went viral was Roman holding both tag team titles next to Solo over Sami Zayn and KO. And they're on like the KO show. They had the bloodline on the KO show. And yes, it's a spoiler and whatnot, but it's interesting because, I mean, you got Roman 4 titles, you know, on SmackDown the night before Night of Champions. Now, obviously, we're going to get into predictions here, so I don't want to talk about it too much because we're going to be talking about it here shortly. But my biggest takeaway was that has always been, from my understanding, the rule is if you touch them the night before, doesn't go well the night of.
It sucks that it was spoiled, and shake my fist at you.
Fight the man, dude. Stick it to the man.
Bet you won't hit him.
Hack the planet.
Hey, we missed Bobby. We missed one. The CM Punk one. Here, I got it.
Got it.
We can talk about it.
It was news midweek was that there was plans that were scrapped for CM Punk, his AEW return, and it was going to be at the inaugural episode of AEW Collision. Kyle, is that the new show that they were?
Yeah, that's the brand new show that they're. I think the first episode is going to be this weekend.
Okay.
It will be. It'll be this weekend. The 27th. It'll be the first show. They don't have a location yet. That might change. They probably do. Like, cause last week during Rampage, Tony Khan announced it officially, like live on air. They did tweet out about it. And they made the announcement on Twitter. But they made like the live announcement. And they didn't have the location set yet for the first show. So that's, I don't know if that's been fixed yet. I haven't seen anything. That might have changed. But yeah, and they already have all like a bunch of dates and locations set for everything after the 27th. With what we're going into, it's always drama with him.
Well, that's the thing, man. Punk. I mean, never been a fan. I'll be 1,000% honest. I'm just gonna drop that right there. I mean, as a mixed martial arts fan as well, how dare him? How dare him ever cross into mixed martial arts? It was the biggest mockery of the sport ever. The fact that he made money doing it really kind of made me mad. And then on top of that, when he came back, it seemed like he came back at kind of like a very grateful attitude that lasted maybe 2 months. And then he went right back to that, not pipe bomb version, but close to it, man, and kind of rode that.
He definitely he was definitely that guy, like that wanted to just be like, he was the top dog and he knew exactly what was going on. And he was like, there was like, they would do like those posts. I don't know if you know about the drama that like took place like months ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like there was like the whole, like there was a big old backstage like fallout between CM Punk and the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and like all of like the originators of AEW.
Oh, wow.
There was like a backstage confrontation. CM Punk got, I believe he was like they all got suspended for a while. CM Punk came back and immediately got injured. And
did he vacate?
Just like,
did he have to vacate?
Yeah, he had to vacate his title. He had the title and he had to vacate it because he got fucking hurt. But it's just like I don't know. When he was in WWE, like pipe bomb CM Punk, I was hook, line, and sinker in that shit. I fucking loved that storyline where he's like, I'm gonna take this title, I'm gonna fucking get out of here, and all that shit. I loved that. I ate it up. But now this CM Punk is just like, he just thinks that he does no wrong, right? I don't like this CM Punk.
Okay. Well, that wraps up current events, man. That's a crazy long list, and we had some other stuff, but we got to jump into predictions, man.
We have to.
And with that being said, we'll just go in order. Saturday's Night of Champions.
So Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the WWE Raw Women's Championship.
I'll start. I got no problem starting on this one. Haven't we seen this match before?
Yeah.
Am I the only? And what's crazy is, wasn't it fucking amazing the first time?
Yeah.
So why do I need to see it back to back? Explain. Give me a reason. I'm just curious. I'd rather see something.
It'll still burn it down. Like, the WWE has a huge track record of doing that match over and over again. I mean, look at fucking Roman Reigns v. Brock Lesnar for the.
We're not getting into Brock Lesnar again.
Okay? I know, but I'm just saying it's track record of AEW.
I guess what I was trying to say is,
yes.
I guess what I was trying to say is the storyline has been so weak for it. It has, and that maybe I should have started there. The storyline has been, the storyline has been so absolutely dog shit that I don't understand why we're still doing this. Like, I get that Asuka is great, but give Bianca something else to work with, because that storyline is. Am I the only one that doesn't understand what their beef is? Because everybody's beefing, but what's their beef?
No, I don't get it. And honestly, and I hate to say this, I haven't really been paying attention. Like Bianca just kind of does whatever. Like, I honestly don't think that WWE has a direction for Bianca, so they're just throwing people at her, and they're like, oh well, Asuka and Bianca have had a good match, let's do it again. Do I think that there's going to be a title exchange? No, I think Bianca's still going to come out champion.
Okay, yeah, that was the whole point about this, right? Predictions.
Yeah, we're just going to come full circle.
Okay, prediction: Bianca retains.
Yeah.
Gunther versus Mustafa Ali.
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
What?
I think this match is stupid. Like, I don't like Mustafa Ali. I don't. Like, I get why they're doing it, because they want Middle Eastern representation on the card. Like, I get it. I understand the pay-per-views in Saudi Arabia. But I can't think of his name. He's the big guy that got put over. It was between him and Mustafa. I'm blanking on his name.
I don't know, dude. I don't
remember.
The big guy?
Bronson Reed.
Oh yeah, Bronson
that
Reed.
guy. I fucking love that guy.
Dude,
I think
listen,
he's great.
If he didn't have a nip slip every fucking match, bro.
Listen, there ain't nothing wrong with it.
No, he wears a unit. It's called unitard, right? He wears a unitard
singlet.
That is singlet. That specifically is supposed to cover his nipples. And every time, listen, he didn't wear shorts. He didn't wear, the panties. It doesn't matter, dude. But he wears a singlet that is supposed to cover his nipples in every single match. It's almost like it's eye candy, dude. And it's not.
I love it.
Dude, my eyes just look for it, because within seconds of him entering that ring, nip slip every single time, dude.
Anyway, let me real quick. I'm just I get why they do it. But it's just with this match, Gunther's gonna win. They're not gonna give it to Mustafa Ali.
Why not? Why not though?
I just think Imperium is just too strong of a stable. I think Gunther has just been a fucking perfect Intercontinental champion.
You're right, but you wouldn't want to see him for a title match, like the heavyweight title or WWE title.
I totally do, but I don't think that they're gonna put. I don't think they're gonna put Mustafa Ali over. I think. Why wouldn't
they is the perfect place to do it?
I just don't think. I don't think
he's the perfect guy, though, right? He's the perfect guy.
I don't think Mustafa Ali's the perfect guy to hold the Intercontinental Championship.
No. But for Saudi, I mean, their whole thing is they want to keep that relationship open, and they want the money, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. And there has not been a guy in their market. And so, I mean, as the Great Khali was the last guy, right?
Mansoor.
Yeah. And then you have I don't know if they would do it, but I mean, you also have King Broccoli and Chicken, or Chicken Broccoli himself, the Maharaj. Don't hinder
he's
Jinder.
He's making a comeback.
So
happy about
I
it.
mean, you have that market, but I don't
But
know.
he's not
like,
on the card. He's not on the
He's
card.
not.
so-
They're not. They just came over. So me personally, do I think they're gonna put him over? No. I don't know. To me,
yeah.
I already said my piece about this pay-per-view. I don't like them because it's just like it's a money grab for obvious reasons, you know. You got to keep the lights on. But for storyline purposes, I just don't think that Mustafa is a strong enough character to carry the Intercontinental Championship. Do I think the other guy, I already forgot his name because it's been a long day, but Bronson Reed, I think he would be a good contender, but I don't think that I think it's going to go to Gunther.
We know Gunther is one of the best wrestlers in the business right now.
Oh yeah.
It's time. It's time for them to let go of that title, give Saudi what they want, which would be Mustafa Ali. And here's the thing. I'm not agreeing that I think he's the best fit. I actually think his character has gotten a little wonky as of lately, like a little too goofy and silly.
Mr. Positivity.
But
it's already
here's
been
the
done.
thing. I don't think he's going to carry the title for a long time. I think that he would. I think that
Just like a Segway holder.
Oh, totally. Because you make Saudi happy, he carries it until the next pay-per-view, and then drops it to somebody meaningful. And we know that they're there to make money. We've, like you said, Kyle, we've talked about how Saudi events have never gone right. It's always a shit show, and it's not the best card. It's never. It's always amped to be something crazy, and ends up falling so short. Normally, obviously creatives changed a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. But for the most part, I think you put the one Saudi guy on the card. That's it. One guy.
Yeah.
You got to put him over. And there's nothing to lose when you lose Gunther as Intercontinental Champion. You have the opportunity to move him towards somebody like a Roman or something. And we get into that.
I see that. And that makes sense. And I wouldn't be mad at seeing that. I think Bloodline versus Imperium would be a compelling story too.
I honestly think they're gonna keep it on Gunther for at least one more pay-per-view, and then he's gonna drop it due to the brand split. I think that's the biggest reason why he would drop it.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Time
will tell, man.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champion.
There's so many different ways you can go with this, right? You have the Bloodline, which is very close to Civil War. Roman he's having a historic reign. He's over. We all know he's over. He's the biggest thing that has happened to the WWE in years. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fanboy. I'm saying that if you looked at the odds, or if you looked at the number for the views at WrestleMania and whatnot, he's their golden boy, and they're treating him like he's their golden boy. I think there's not much more you can do with Kevin and Sami, but it doesn't really allow them to branch out story-wise. Their story has kind of come full circle, so they don't really have a ton to lose. If they lose the belts, we know it's going to be shady. We know it's not going to be done right, and
won't be clean.
It won't be clean, but it also sets up an internal, like, if they drop the belts, I think it gives more story arc to the Bloodline imploding than it does without those belts. Because right now, the Usos are on the outside, and if you hold their own belts over their head, it gives such a good babyface story arc for the Usos. Whereas if Roman doesn't win this, what do you do? Like, I mean, you can keep going with that storyline. But it just seems like this is the moment, a defining moment that could really be pivotal in their story. And you put more belts on Roman, that's everywhere. And this is a money grab, like we talked about. This is all money grab. So, and you do it in Saudi, dude. What do they want to see? They want to see Roman. They want to see him with belts. And here's the one thing: this is the one time that he's not the champion, right? So, you put him over in Saudi, everybody's happy. I'm looking at it from that standpoint. So I'm going Roman and Solo by dirty win.
Well, I won't be happy about it. You make a 100% like Your thought process was clear, concise. It makes sense. I follow it. I get it. But the mark in me wants to see Sammy and Kevin retain. That's just that. Like, me personally, I think it's going to be a great match. I personally would like to see Sammy and Kevin win. But it could go either way. It like the way that you said it, it makes more sense if Roman and Solo like take the titles. It makes sense. It makes sense. So I wouldn't be mad either way. I mean, just, I would just rather see the bearded boys, take the titles or keep the titles.
They look good with them.
Yeah, I mean, it does look good with them. I think that Sammy and KO will win, and I think that the Usos are going to put this over Roman's head, and there's going to be more turmoil in that way versus the other way that you said.
It'll be fun watching it unfold either way.
Yeah. So this one's going to be fun. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Go.
You want to start this one?
I'm gonna let you start this one. I'm gonna let you start because it's you're a slap for that Brock Lesnar.
Well, I'm 1,000% honest, man. I mean, Cody won in a great match at Backlash.
Oh yeah.
And dude, I've got to give props to my boy Brock. I mean, from what I understand is that he is the master of running into things full speed without razor blades and taking a dash for the team, dude. I mean, that
good
thing,
for him on that. I will give him
holy
props.
Crap, man.
That's all you get.
That thing looks, that thing is brutal, dude. Here's what I'm predicting. I'm predicting that Brock wins to end their saga, right? But somehow it fuels Cody to win Money in the Bank, because he knows that's his only opportunity. And Money in the Bank is what comes up next. And he's got to win money in the Bank. He has to win it no matter what. If he wins, if he beats Brock, he still has to do it. But this match has kind of been buried in the card because there's so much else going on. I don't think that it really matters if Cody wins. As long as Cody puts in a good match, Brock does something dirty, which Brock has shown even without Paul Heyman, he's still capable of doing. I think Cody will still be over, and Cody will still be following his track to the title, his story to the title, right? But I don't think I can't see a reason why you'd want Cody to win this. Brock has put, if you look lately, Brock is these bigger events, he's losing a lot of them. And if you want to keep Brock relevant for anything, he's got to be one of these top guys. He has to. And he's already let Cody beat him. So what's the reason for Cody to win a second time?
Like, I do agree that the match itself, there's no teeth in the fight other than pride, right? It's other than bragging rights or, like, I'm going to end this thing once and for all, blah, blah, blah. So what's next, right? All roads point to Money in the Bank. So I think either way, win or lose for Cody, he's going to Money in the Bank, right? I think, me personally, I think him beating Brock again is just continuing that motivation and continuing that train rolling, just stoking that fire to lead to what? Roman.
Raise your hand if you knew Grind was going to say Brock Lesnar. I'm raising my hand. So I don't see him getting squashed by Brock, so I definitely see Cody winning this. The last match. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship Tournament Final.
I am so excited for this match.
Really?
I am so pumped.
Same.
Yes, I am thrilled for this match because I love AJ Styles and I love Seth Rollins, and they are both amazing. Not only just characters and great on the mic, like, AJ Styles is a little bit more smash 'em up, and Seth Rollins has that pizzazz. He captivates that audience. So I mean, like, AJ Styles and Seth Rollins for the new title, perfect. I think that's amazing. I'm glad that it didn't go Cody. I'm glad that it's this match. And me personally, I think it's going to be AJ Styles because Seth Rollins has a movie coming up.
Yeah. For those who don't know, it's the fourth Captain America movie.
Yeah.
He's currently been he's been seen on set.
Yeah.
Now, do we know how big of a role? We don't. Imagine if he was like the main villain, dude. He'd be such a good villain.
It's I can't remember what the faction is called that he's going to be a part of.
But with that being said, I think we're going to get a really cool match, and I think it could potentially go down as one of the best title matches of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my prediction. I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I don't, other than it being a great wrestling match, story-wise hasn't done much for me. I'm going with Seth Rollins.
Do you think it'll be like a temporary hold, like they have it temporarily and then they'll put Seth Rollins up with somebody? Because like you can't have an absentee champion, especially if he's going to be playing a major role.
I don't think he's playing a major role.
You don't think so?
No, I think he's playing a role similar to like George St. Pierre, the greatest welterweight of all time in mixed martial arts. He played a role in Captain America 2 or 3, and it was a significant part, but it was a minor role. And if they're already filming with Rollins currently, and he's got this massive match, I would assume that they're going.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, I would think they're filming it now, and that Seth Rollins makes the most sense in my eyes. So
I agree. In my heart of hearts, I want Seth Rollins to win, but from like the movie thing or whatever, I don't know everything. Just from what I know at this point in time, I just AJ Styles. But anyway, in my heart of hearts, I want Seth Rollins.
Based on all the backstage heat and things like that he's had with Cody, and like saying that he's better than Cody, and all this stuff that's been going on, and he's basically like getting upset that Cody's getting all these opportunities and that he wasn't. I think the whole thing with Cody not getting into the final, into this tournament, or like going further into the tournament and having Seth do it, I honestly think they're gonna make Seth win it. It would just make way more sense. I love AJ Styles. I just don't see them not giving it to Seth. So Seth Rollins is my pick, 100%. Now we're gonna talk about AEW Double or Nothing. The Firm, Ethan Page, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn versus the Hardy Party. Wow, I did not know that was the name. Isaiah Cassidy, Jeff Hardy, and Matt Hardy in the 6-man tag team match.
Okay. So
but there's a stipulation. If Hardy Party wins, Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract.
Yeah. So that was kind of like a thing that like it wasn't that like it was an okay storyline, whatever. Ethan Page had like a contract with Jeff Hardy, and there was like some shenanigans that Jeff Hardy pulled, and it basically like null and voided his agreement with Ethan Page. All ego Ethan Page. And so now you have these two separate things. So basically you have Jeff Hardy, who made his return, and then Isaiah Cassidy, that guy. He loves to moan. But this whole match, and then with Ethan Page teaming up with the Ass Boys. Me personally, I think the Hardy Party's going to win, just because it's going to be like you're gonna see Jeff and Matt kind of have like one last hurrah for tag titles in the AEW, and then they'll be hanging it up. I just want to see a really good wrestling match. Like as much as everyone hates Austin Colton, they're good wrestlers. They really are.
Facts, they are.
When it comes to heels, they're fucking over as heels. Like, and literally every time they come out, within seconds, everyone's chanting "Ass Boys," and it's just, I'm glad that they're feuding against someone else other than the Acclaimed.
Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie in a singles match for the AEW TBS Championship.
Yeah. So, Jade Cargill, she's basically been the champion since the inception of the title. She's been the longest, title holder for that thing. And then you have this, she's not new. She came in, I believe it was from Impact. Taya Valkyrie, who is an incredible wrestler. She's a veteran in the space. Me personally, I think Taya's gonna go over. Me personally, I would love to see the title change hands, because I think, me personally, when like a champion holds the title for too long, it gets boring. You gotta change the titles just to keep it fresh. So I think Taya she's great. She's great on the mic. And I think it's going to be a great wrestling match either way. But I would love to see Valkyrie get it.
I want Taya to win it too. She's been over in Impact for a while, not really doing much, and then she came over to AEW. So I think it's time.
I have no opinion on this, therefore I side with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about the next one.
No
the next
opinions.
one, I'm excited about this one.
I am actually
Combat
too.
Club. Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta versus the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Hangman Adam Page. And Anarchy in the arena match.
What the fuck is that? Explain
it's basically,
to me.
it's a death match. It's a death match. So that's basically, it's just going to be fucking just, they had one at, I believe it was,
the San Francisco pay-per-view. It was recent, right? Yeah. Texas Death Match is what it was called.
Something like that. So like whatever, like it's just gonna be bloody. It's gonna be incredible. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Me personally, I honestly don't care who wins, because it's just gonna be just straight up brutality in this match. It's just like one of those things where like you don't care who wins, just as long as it's just a good match. Like it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think it's gonna be the Elite winning. Just because it's the reunion of the Elite. There was, just to kind of get, like, you had Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson being the Elite for a while, and then Adam Page, who used to be in the Elite, like back in the day when they first started AEW, became like the estranged member, and then like went his own way and was doing his own thing. And now he's got a dope ass eye patch because he got stabbed in the eye with a screwdriver from Jon Moxley. I think it's gonna be the Elite, just because it's like the reunion of the true Elite stable against the Blackpool Combat Club. So that's what I think it is gonna be. But either way, whoever wins, it's gonna be a great fucking match.
Yeah, I mean, I think either way, you've got so many creative minds in this, so many creative minds, that this match, like you said, is going to be. I mean, if there's something new that we've never seen, this would be.
We're gonna see it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be brutal as fuck, and that's what I want, and that's what I hope I get.
If you look at the names that are part of this match, dude, there's most of, if not all, are all Hall of Famers. So I think either way, you're looking at the match as a W. I would be blown away if this match is just garbage. I agree. It would take so much. And maybe that's setting the standard too high, because AEW, from my understanding, has been known to mess up gimmicky matches. They've had a few matches that have gone wrong with the gimmicks, with the big finish kind of gimmicks. So if they are going for I'm hoping it's like a street fight. I'm hoping like you said, like a Texas Death Match. I mean, the amounts of blood that I want to see in this match is, we're talking Mortal Kombat.
Blood and guts.
Yeah, exactly, dude. But as long as they do that and they don't go Bray Wyatt gimmicky on this thing, I think your chances of seeing something legendary are right there. You look at those names, man. It's just too creative to fuck up. It's too creative to mess up, and maybe that's where they fuck up. Right? There's just too many names involved.
Yeah.
I think overall you did an insanely good match, and I don't care who wins, because everybody's a winner in that match.
Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm, singles match for the AEW World Championship.
Women's World Championship,
which Jamie Hayter is the current champion. I think Jamie Hayter retains. You have the stable of Tony Storm, Saraya, and Ruby Riott. I mean, you're gonna see some shenanigans from that end. But me personally, I think Hayter retains.
And I didn't recognize that their women's division is that deep. It's pretty deep.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So that was kind of my biggest takeaway from it. I think what AEW does great is their wrestling. Is if you're looking for pure wrestling, take out the storylines, you're gonna get good wrestling. And I will say that in the women's division in AEW, from what I've seen, it's very impressive.
Orange Cassidy freshly squeezed versus Aaron Solo, Powerhouse Hobbs, QT Marshall, and 17 other people in the 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal for the AEW International Championship. I keep wanting to call it Intercontinental, but
get your popcorn.
Yeah.
Get your popcorn.
It's just gonna be great. It's just gonna be great.
Yeah.
Like I think Orange Cassidy wins just because like he's fucking red hot.
Oh yeah.
He is scorching right now, and you cannot stop that. You cannot. Like, he is just absolutely destroying it right now. The Aaron Solo and Powerhouse Hobbs and QT Marshall, I fucking hate QTTV. I think it's the dumbest storyline, and I feel bad for Powerhouse Hobbs that he has to piggyback on that stupid stable. But it's going to be a good match. I mean, you're going to have a bunch of other people in there, but Orange Cassidy wins, in my opinion.
I mean, who doesn't like Orange Cassidy?
Yeah.
You know,
he's just so great.
We all vote orange.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
By unanimous decision.
Yeah, unanimous, exactly. Next match is Wardlow, who is the current champion.
The TNT champion,
TNT champion with Arn Anderson and versus Christian Cage with Luchasaurus. In a ladder match for the TNT championship.
Christian Cage wins. He gets the championship.
Yep, 100%.
That's just I like Wardlow's great. I think he's awesome. He's young. He looks good. And like he's already had the title. This is like the second time he's had it. Because he had it, then Powerhouse Hobbs took it, and then he got it back. So I think it's just gonna go to Christian. It'll be like one of those like he'll have it for a bit, and then someone else will take it. But I think Christian Cage gets it just because he's ready to wrestle now. He's over his injury and all that stuff.
With that being said, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Do you have Luchasaurus turn on him? To create a story right there?
I don't know, because they've done it before. Like they did it to where like because it was the Jurassic Express was the tag team. It was Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and Luchasaurus. They've already done that. Like they had it to where he turned on Jungle Boy and he went with Christian Cage. And then he turned on Christian Cage and he went back to Jungle Boy. And it's the same thing. He just went back and forth. So I don't know what they're going to do with Luchasaurus. I don't know if there's going to be a heel turn or not, but either way after the pin 1, 2, 3, I think it's Christian Cage having the title.
That's where it gets weird because for me, I started thinking about the future. I'm like, well, what do you do with Luchasaurus at that point? Because you might
have a turn and like have him try to go for the title, but
that's the only thing that would make sense. To me, because I mean he's a pretty well known character that a lot of people like to see, and so it's hard when they do that. They do it sometimes, but I mean, if you said he's turned once, there's a good chance he could turn again. So I'll go with Christian Cage on this one as well.
Yep. Christian Cage for me. I'm a huge Christian mark. Always have been, always will be. Christian all the way. Next match, FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal for the tag team titles.
God damn it, it's gonna be such a good match.
Dude, Jeff Jarrett on TRT is fucking phenomenal.
He looks incredible. He looks so good. And like he's got it. Like I saw it live.
Dude, 90s action figure version, bro. Like I was like,
so
whoa.
Good. And he's killing it, man. Like I'm like TRT, whatever. Say what you want, but
no, I think it's great.
Got it still.
I mean, there's no way that's natural. And if I mean, if it is, I mean, he looks like 20 years younger. He really does.
Yeah, he looks great. And him and Jay Lethal, I think it's a great like that whole stable's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Sanam Singh, and Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. It's so good. It's so
if you're
good.
having him on a card, you're not, in my opinion, you're not having him put people over at this point. You're having him purely for the name.
He's wrestling and he's putting out matches. Like he's wrestling.
Yeah.
And it could go either way. with this title. I think that FTR retains.
Wow.
Because they're just, I think you have him retain, but I wouldn't be mad if Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett win. I'm personally just like Bobby said, 7-star FTR, baby.
Yeah.
X.
I'm gonna go with Jeff Jarrett on this, just because I think, like I said, I mean, I don't know what you do with him other than put him over. I think I always kind of look at it from like a business standpoint. Like, are they, is he there to put people over, or is he there to be put over? And I think he's there to be put over.
The last match, MJF versus Sammy Guevara versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Darby Allin in a Pillars 4-way match for the AEW Championship.
Oh my god, dude. This is like electric sex. It's like I don't know how else to describe this match. Because you have MJF, granted he hasn't wrestled a bunch during his tenure as champion. Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and Darby Allin. All incredible wrestlers.
Exactly.
Incredible wrestlers. I think, me personally, I think MJF wins. I think he retains. I know people hate him because he doesn't wrestle. I don't know what's going on in the back end when it comes to that, but I do think he retains. But it's going to be one hell of a match.
Can somebody explain to me what a Pillars match is?
Basically, you have the 4 pillars of the AEW, like basically like originators, like people that were there, like the homegrown talent of AEW, stuff like that. That's the pillars. They were the people that were there from the beginning, which they were. MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Jungle Boy Jack Perry were there day one.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, every one of those guys has made his impact, right?
Yeah.
And they're all, I mean, they all could be champion, in my opinion.
They could.
I think the more and more I hear about Jungle Boy, I get curious to his real persona, because he's such a baby face that I wouldn't actually start to see him be a heel, because from my understanding, he's not a very cool guy to be around. Darby Allin, man, is, I mean, he Sting's protege. And what's weird is the dude, in my opinion, the way he moves for being such a skater style body is just it's just different.
It is. It is.
And it's like, when is his time? But then, Sammy Guevara, dude, I have no opinion on that guy, really. I mean, he's good.
He's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a great wrestler. I don't think it, like, he's got stuff that happened in the past.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, he's done his best, to turn things around to be better. But yeah, it's like right now, I don't think it's time for him.
No, and of all those names, I think he's probably the weakest link out of those names. And the biggest thing is I mean, MJF. I mean, he's just that guy.
He is.
AEW needs him as much as he needs AEW, because it's just perfect right now. The fit is just, it's the right timing. It's just perfect. And I think contractually, there was a moment where MJF had a pipe bomb. It was like, what, 8 months ago, a year ago, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, pretty recent, boom, the belt's on him. He's speaking his mind freely on a normal nightly basis.
He's a fucking devil, dude.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to take that title off of him.
You don't.
AEW knows what they have. And if they were able to make peace after that pipe bomb, and put this guy over still, his worth must be a lot. So I'm sure it will be a decent match. I don't think it will be the best match on the card. I think there's a lot of talent there, but I think sometimes I think when you look at some of these like personalities, like it's too much ego to make it a great match. Whereas with the fucking Anarchy in the arena match, I mean, those guys, the creativeness, and they've all been kind of at the top. Whereas like you know, Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, they really haven't had their opportunity yet. So there's a lot of probably ego going into this, and how much does MJF really want to work? I mean, that's the big question. I think MJF wins. I think it's very easy to see that. I don't think it's going to be the greatest match of the night. I think it's probably going to be one of the matches you're going to walk away from and go, there's a lot of talent there and they're all great, but somebody's ego got in the way, and it didn't in the way it should have.
We will see.
That wraps up predictions for both nights. I don't think we'll have another event like this where it's back to back for a while. Thank God. But this was a lot. I mean, hey, you know, welcome to us podcasting, and boom. I mean, it was just hit with.
Here's a big one.
Yeah. With that being said, you know, we're gonna try to do this weekly, and you know, we'll be back next week with reactions, man. It's gonna be very, very interesting. Kyle, hopefully you can make it. That is the plan. You're gonna be on vacation, so we're crossing our fingers. If not, we'll hold down the fort. Maybe if anything, you can send us a video and we'll watch it, dude.
Yeah,
you know, we want you there.
I'll write,
you know?
I'll write some thoughts, and I'll send them via like message in a bottle. I'll get them, dude. Don't worry.
Ship them to us. Yeah,
a carrier pigeon.
Yeah,
something.
exactly, dude.
I got you, brother.
All right. With that being said, man, this has been the lower mid card.
Bye bye.
Boom. That's it.